It is officially the off season. Time to reset. Time to focus on the joy of running for a few weeks at least, right? No structured training, not training for anything in particular right now. One thing about the off season is also time to reflect. Reflect on the previous training cycle, what we did well, what we didn't do so well, and I have a few things that I'll be working on. And one of those things is strength, mobility, balance, etc. I have a whole plan that I'm going to be working on. And by the way, the next few weeks, I'm going to be using Ultra as my shoe of choice. I have a rotation of Ultras. This is the Escalante. I'll be running in the Escalante for the most part. The Ultra is a zero drop shoe, meaning that there's no difference between the forefoot and the heel. And it's wide, that it allows your toes to splay, which is very good for the foot, in my opinion. And I'm going to be doing a lot of footwork at the gym as well as running. So I need for my foot to be free and unencumbered by too much cushion. These are also pretty minimal on the cushioning. I also have the Ultra Rivera, just slightly more cushioning, but still the same idea. Zero drop, allows your toes to splay. So that's another one. I have the Tauren at home as well, all of which I'll be rotating in the next few weeks. This is really a minimal shoe that will help me in my quest to strengthen my feet, my ankles. So, a very good option for sure. Another part of the plan for the off season is that I'll be doing a lot of heart rate running, meaning that I'll be keeping my heart rate in a certain zone, and I'll be definitely wearing the heart rate monitor for a lot of those runs. In fact, I just replaced the batteries on the Garmin heart rate monitor, so it's ready to go. So today we're going to do a nice easy recovery run. Again, 5 days ago we ran a marathon. Well, I ran a marathon. Why do I always say we? Me, myself, and I. Hey, what can I tell you? The important thing about being an older athlete to realize is that every one of us has different needs. And you can't train like your buddy and vice versa. Because your buddy might have been running for 20, 25 years, and you've been running for only 5 years. So you have to consider your training age as well as your chronological age. And having said that, there's also a subcategory. There are some guys that are in their 60s, even late 60s, that are still running sub-3 marathons. Those guys are unique. You know, those guys are genetically gifted. I interviewed Jacob Nur in episode 30 or 31 of my podcast. Check it out. And he holds the record for the fastest half marathon in his age group, 65 to 69. And I think he ran that and somewhere around 115, 116. But he went to London just 2 years ago and ran the full marathon in 2:45 at 68 years old. So you see, everyone's going to be different. Everyone's got a different journey, a different path, and different things that need to be taken into consideration, even in training. So a good coach will not train two people the same way. They'll take into consideration so many different factors in order to get the person to the start line healthy, fresh, and strong. And being self-coached, I read a lot of the research, the scientific research, the sports performance papers and research in order to glean some of ideas of how I can incorporate certain protocols in my training that will help me stay strong and get better. This is not to say that I know it all, but I have some ideas of how I should be training in order to get the best out of myself. And I'm still learning. So I'm willing to listen to anyone that has ideas and take them into consideration. But at the same time, I know my body. I've been with my body for 64 years. So I know how my body responds. So if someone says something to me that I feel may need further investigation or further consideration, I will research it. Of course, I will take everything into consideration, but I will do my research and do what's best for my physiology, for my body. And that's pretty much the bottom line. And that's all she wrote. Just a nice, easy-paced post-marathon recovery run. What a lot of runners do, they run their recovery runs too fast. You shouldn't be afraid to run easy when the training calls for it. When all you're trying to do is get the body to recover properly, get the blood flowing, and just enjoying it's beautiful weather. It's 80 degrees out here. And I think at this point, we can expect 75 to 80 degrees until September. Hope your training and recovering is going well. Probably go off to the gym for a little bit of stretching and mobility work. That's what we do. Thanks for watching. Whatever it is that you do in life, be sure to keep up the good work. Never stop trying, and never, ever give up.